she took all the, again, there's sort of photography is doing a review of the past that was done in painting and seeing how it can be changed, the language. She did all painters from the turn of the century, 1860 and on, that did the harems and that they had never been in a Muslim country or in an Eastern country, and painted this odalisque, all nudes and things like that. They don't exist. The odalisque is never nude. When they, and in the harems, the idea of them, they have to be very intelligent. It's almost like in Japan, that they're trained in music, in physics, in literature. They know everything because they are supposed to entertain the king or the caliph or whatever, the person is. So they are not dumb ones. They're really very cultural women. And the body shape was not in context, it's nothing that was important. So men and women in the evening inside the house dress alike. It's the open pantaloons and the jacket. The only difference between men and women is the color or some of the design, and wear different design in embroidery in the pieces and women. But really our concept, our Western concept of the harem doesn't exist. So this painting, that is the slave market, she was naked. There were 3 men expecting her mouth and she was naked. They cannot have naked women in front of them. It's forbidden, in public. So this is the reality, and so she's changing what the fantasy was. Actually, she made us read a fabulous book that is Scheherazade in the West, and how men in the West perceive women, and how men in the East perceive women. And it's a fascinating book. It was written by a sociologist. And I'm in the last chapter, and I'm having a lot of fun. So this is more or less, we change shows every 6 weeks to 8 weeks. This time is less than that is 4. We'll have a new show at the beginning of July. We have a season established, what we show during the year. We alternate between American photographers, Latin American photographers, European photographers. The show before was a Chinese photographer that was very, very good. So, but it's photography, always the base is photography. It's amazing, isn't it? And she writes in all of them, so it takes her about 10 months to do all the cloth for a series of shoots. And then when they walk in bed, this is henna, it cracks. So she has to take the whole thing out and put a new one. So it's constant repair. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to shoot one scene. And she writes on the girls, as you can see. And they're all women. Dressed as men, but all women. And it's the writing, you can read it, it's her diary. What she thinks, what she's doing things, what her life as a woman in a Muslim country is or was, the whole thing. It's very personal. She has very lot of shows.
Can you show this to us?
That's a photographer in Spain. Very young. He had a show at MoMA. What he does is he reproduces in sort of a fake architectural system his house. This is his house. And then takes little pictures of all the going around and sort of makes it into a shape. The show at MoMA, he did a whole room where you enter the room and you enter his room, but it was done all in photography. So about 2 years ago, he was written as the young person to check, to keep in mind. It's an object, but meanwhile it's photographs. He made it in such a way that you can hang the piece on the wall or have it as a sculpture piece. So, this is very good. Any questions about photography, about anything, about color? The Canada is
They
the
can
only
die.
one. The only one, and she really revolutionized photography, you know, by adding text and by adding, you know, different images, making a story. She was a professor here in Chicago. Egypt, with her rap and her ideas, and she puts them on, you know, she put them together. Basel Sheikh, a photographer, born in Kenya but lives in American mother. This is an Argentinian photographer. That's a mural in a restaurant. So this is a shelf. That looks very funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he finds things like that and photographs them. So like that, that's a big sign in the capital, Buenos Aires, the Coca-Cola.
And you never understand those stop signs until you see them and you
Yeah.
hear this nifty old architecture and all of a sudden you see this big sign.
It's like, oh, in Buenos Aires, the 9th of July, the Fifth Avenue has them all. And for example, those are, you know, just model cars. I don't know. But that's the, so this is more or less the Mexican photographer, that they right going up in the pole, they walk the pole, but it's not a true photograph, it's compounded. You know, so they're a trick and not the photographer from Central America, from New Orleans. So we have photographers from Peru, so we have photographers from throughout.
Good.